I've just completed part 2 in a series on harmony and theory. Part 2 picks up where part 1 left off. In part 1, I went through all the notes on the neck, major and minor triads, harmonizing the major scale, among other things. Part 2 picks up where part 1 left off. In part 2, I go through the minor scale, harmonizing the minor scale, pentatonic scales, how to solo over a blues, what the blues is all about. I talk about how to build chords, among other things. So it's an extension of part 1. If you made it through part 1, you'll be ready for part 2. Well, the whole idea with harmony and theory is that harmony and theory is really just learning the language of musicians. You're learning how musicians speak. So if you want to speak the language with other players, you're going to need to know some of the terminology. You're going to need to know, for example, if somebody says a 1-4-5, you're going to need to know what it is they're talking about. So this DVD is for anybody who wants to expand their knowledge on not only the guitar, but just as an overall musician. Just learning the language of music is what this is all about, but specifically as it relates to the guitar. There's a lot of guitar licks, guitar chops on here, but this should expand your overall musicianship. That's the goal anyway. This DVD is part 2 in a 3-part series. Whereas part 1 deals with the basics for people who are really beginning to get into harmony and theory, this DVD is designed for people who know what they're doing but want to develop a little bit more. Part 3 picks up with concepts such as the modes, modal interchange, a little more advanced concepts. So this is for people who know a little bit more than the basics but aren't quite ready for the advanced stuff. So if that's where you're at, this is for you. The ultimate goal with this DVD is that people learn how to explain what it is they're doing. I'm going to show a lot of licks and some chord progressions along the way, but the main focus of the DVD is to be able to speak the language of music, to be able to talk about what it is we're doing, why this is a 1-4-5, what it means when somebody says, let's play a 9th chord, let's play a 13th chord, how to build that chord. So that's the big picture, is to be able to speak the language of music. This DVD is divided up into chapters. The first chapter, for example, deals with the minor scale. The second chapter deals with pentatonic scales, both major and minor. And the DVD is divided up that way so that you're able to go back to the DVD repeatedly and start where you left off last time. So I want you to make sure that you absorb each chapter before moving on to the next. And that's very easy to do with the DVD. But there is certainly an order to how things are presented. So I want you to learn first chapter, and if you make it through to the end, you get quite a bit under your belt. So that's the goal. Similar to the first DVD, these lessons are also divided up into chapters so that you're able to easily follow along with the course that I've presented. If you stop at the first chapter, once you've managed that, you can move on to the second chapter and so on. By the end of the lessons, there's 7 chapters in this DVD. If you've mastered those 7 chapters, it's a lot of work, then you'll be ready to move on to the advanced DVD.